Hey everybody, it's Alex Sigrist, and today we have another Alex Uncut. I'm actually filming this afternoon, so hopefully my editing skills are awesome and you guys get it by Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I'm going to give you an answer to one of 3 questions that I get in the comment section. I will have 3 questions that I haven't prepared read to me, and I will choose one of them to answer on the spot. The other 2 I'll answer very quickly at the end of this video. So if you would like to submit a question, please just leave one down there in the comment section. So these questions I'm about to get were from the previous video, and I've got my friend Josh here to read out 3 that he chose from that list. I don't know what he's chosen, but hey, let's go for it. Josh, what you got for us?
All right, the first one is, if not Korea, what other foreign place would you want to live?
Okay.
The second one is, what is something positive and negative that you have learned through your romantic relationships? And the third one is, how did doing grad school in Korea change you and affect your life today?
Oh man. Okay, so these are really good ones. Let me confirm with you one more time. So where would you live if not Korea?
Mm-hmm.
Something good and bad you learned in previous relationships, and then how did grad school change the way I'm living in Korea?
No, how did grad school in Korea change your life?
How did grad school in Korea change my life? Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
I'll take my phone back.
Yep.
Okay, I think the one I'm gonna have to go with, oh, these are all so good. Okay, the first one I can answer in one word, so I'll save that for the end. The second one I should have more time to think about, and I'm gonna go ahead and go with number 3 then. So, how did grad school in Korea change my life? How did it make it work? And that one's from Benjamin Engel. All right, I like this one. We're gonna go with it. Ready? So I came to Korea as an English teacher in 2009, and after 3 years, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I just decided to go to grad school. A lot of people kind of have that idea. I knew that I wanted to stay in Korea. I knew that I didn't have any internship experience, any business experience, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about how politics and culture works in East Asia. So I went to grad school here in Korea, and I got my master's degree in international studies with a focus on East Asia. And as I went through grad school, I encountered a lot of different opinions about grad school in Korea. Some people said, oh, it's just too easy to get through grad school, get the minimum grades, and pass. I didn't learn anything. Some people really enjoyed it. What I learned about grad school in Korea is that you get what you put into it. So one of the things I learned was the basic understanding that the more that I studied, the more I got out of it. I loved studying. I loved reading. I did the best that I could to read as much of the material as possible. I took some classes in Korean, probably annoyed the other Korean students while I was doing it, but I was learning Korean and learning about East Asian culture, Korean culture at the same time. So I definitely learned a lot about the importance of really putting effort into something when no one is making you do it. That was a key learning lesson to me. Another one is just what I learned and what I got out of it. I learned a lot about East Asia. I learned a little bit about the historical conflicts. I learned about the reasons that Koreans view other cultures in this way and that way. And it really helped me out when it came to working in media, because I don't put my foot in my mouth. A lot of people, they like to develop their own opinions about something based on a few sentences they read in a blog post, in a tweet, or even in a scholarly journal, wherever they may have read it. But if you say something, you say the wrong thing, that could ruin your career, especially in radio and or TV. So I definitely got a lot out of it by understanding Korean people and, of course, Chinese people and Japanese people a little bit more as well. So I sound a little bit smarter when I talk about East Asian relations and politics, but also I don't sound dumb and say the wrong things every so often. So that's another thing I got out of it. The third thing that was a big thing is I ended up being the student council president at my grad school. And it was really difficult, but a lot of fun. I got to work in an international setting. Half the student council was non-Korean from all over the world. And of course, I worked with Koreans, and I had to work directly with the Korean staff and the Korean administration, professors, everybody. And I did learn a lot about working in an international environment as I made mistakes. For example, the concept of how Koreans tell you the word no is very different. And I knew that they softly tell you no, but I never really experienced it until I made a mistake on a down payment on an end of the year dinner that we couldn't get back, and oops, my bad on that one. That cost a little bit of money. But I learned from it, and I learned how to be a leader in an international setting. Now, all of this sounds like a canned answer, like, oh, here's what I'm going to tell my interviewer when I get to my next business interview. But here's the thing. I got all of this knowledge from it because of my first point, which is you really do get what you put into it. If you're somebody that comes to grad school here just to get your name on a diploma, you will get your name on that diploma, I promise you. And you can go to the best school in Korea and get that best name on your diploma. And that's a good thing too, because it shows that either A, you're smart, or at least you faked your way into getting into a smart school. It helps you with connections as well. I didn't even mention connections, so there's that. But the people who really enjoyed studying Korea, the people who really got something valuable from it, really put in the effort. They really got to know their professors, get involved in student council, get involved in the school itself. They are now PhD students. They are using this information to work at the UN, the World Trade Organization. They're doing some amazing things. And so if you are going to go to grad school in Korea, I definitely recommend that you go in there with the right intentions, the right reasons, and the right motivation, which I guess is the same as intentions probably, but kind of the right work ethic is what I'm getting at. Now, there's a lot more I could talk about, and perhaps this is better suited for a longer form, maybe a sit-down talk. I'll get Ben in here. He's a friend of mine. I know the guy. And yeah, I think that would be pretty cool to talk about at length. And if you have any questions, of course, about Korean grad school or university and more opinions about it, please drop that question down below. But that's all I got. From Korean grad school and the experience I had there, I learned about how to push myself when no one's out there pushing you. I learned about Korean culture and other Asian cultures as well. I learned about working in an international environment, and I got those networking connections. And I guess technically, I did get that name on the diploma, which is pretty cool. So that's it. That's my answer. Thank you so much, Ben, for sending in that question. And I do want to make sure I shout out the people who sent in the other ones. One was about where would I live? What foreign place would I live? You know me. Okay, I guess I didn't get to shout that one out. Similar, Spree asked, what country would you move to if South Korea didn't work out, and why? I want to live in Japan. I'm not going to, but it would be the next place I would move to because I grew up in Japan from the age of 3 to 6, and I think it'd be really cool to go back and relearn the language. And yes, your next question, I don't speak Japanese anymore. And the other one was about relationships from Lamar Posey. What is something positive and negative that you have learned through your romantic relationships? Positive, patience, and negative, I would have to say the reality that you do have to sacrifice your friends and the time you spend with your friends to be with the one you care about and you love. It's a good thing, but I guess the negative being that you have less time for your friends. Overall, though, I'd probably choose a romantic relationship. So if you have any questions that you want to ask me on next Wednesday's Alex Uncut, please ask those questions down below. I'm going to be gone for a little bit on a working trip soon, so ask lots of questions. I might have to make 2 videos before next week. And any question you want, I'll have a friend of mine ask me those questions off camera. I won't prepare, and I'll give you a 4 to 5 minute stump speech on what I think about that. We'd also appreciate it if you just leave a little comment. Did I just use the royal, like the we? I would appreciate it if you left a comment about how you think this concept is or how I could improve it. Also, just say hello. Doesn't really matter. Give a little thumbs up because, from the last video, narcissism feels good when you guys give me the thumbs up. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. And that's it. This was Alex Uncut, as real as it gets. See you next Wednesday.